welcome back to
The Zach
and Buzz
Review. Right, to follow on from our first Omen trailer reaction
Mm-hmm.
video, we thought it's only right, before we go and actually see the film itself,
which is tomorrow,
that we should go and re-watch The Omen.
Yes.
Original 1976 with Gregory Peck.
directed by Richard Donner, who
Because-
directed Superman.
Yeah, I mean, I saw this in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I am that old. And I've seen it subsequently many, many times over the years. You've seen
Bits.
lots of bits, like almost literally I'd say the whole movie at times. But I don't think you've actually, until now...
Especially the latter half.
It's always... But it's like that on the TV. You go
Always
on,
on the TV.
turn something on, and it's
Yeah,
always
so
the same...
It's like a bit of the film.
Yeah.
Like, there's always that classic scene where Patrick Troughton gets impaled. That's always
It's
on.
always that. It's literally, he's running through the trees with the wind blowing, and it's like... or,
Ah!
and it's
Or it's the bit in the graveyard where they're being chased by
By all
dogs
the
and
dogs,
things.
yeah, it
But
is.
it was very nice for the first time to see this in its entirety.
and for me to sit with you and watch the whole thing.
Because it seems... I thought...
You kind of forget the start.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought it was very much like going to be a traditional horror movie, potentially along the lines of The Exorcist. But the main thing about this film is the tone, because it's not very... doesn't feel like a horror movie.
No, it feels like the hairs on the back of your neck are coming up, because you know there's some kind of supernatural, omnipotent force,
Yeah.
dark force,
Yeah.
which is controlling the direction of everything.
Mm.
And it can be as simple as those creepy looks from the nannies,
Yeah.
which I kind of call them witches, because they always give me the feel of they are witches.
Because they're kind of in the know.
Because they seem to come from an agency that we don't really hear anything about, but they know all about Damien.
Yeah.
And so they're kind of looking after him, and you've got the supernatural happenings with, as I say, like with Patrick Troughton, and of course you've got the photographer played by David Warner, who is he suddenly sees in his photographs these kind of shadows,
Imperfections.
yeah, these shadows, but they're kind of like you know, I don't know how you describe them, but they're like foreshadowing would be a good word.
Yeah.
So they're foreshadowing on the photos, and every time he takes new photographs, they're getting stronger and stronger as we get towards that particular character's demise. And unfortunately for him, he also sees one in the mirror of himself.
Exactly. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's what when he's going to Father Brennan's flat,
Yeah.
which is covered in like
Thousands of pages
pages
of the Bible.
from the Bible, where he's trying to protect himself from this
And
omnipotent
he's
force.
got all those crosses on the doors and everything. But he's overlooking the church where he gets killed.
Yeah, exactly. So potentially, just having a little think now about the tone of the film, comparatively, maybe I would compare it to like The Wicker Man almost, because that's more about the tone as opposed to like the actual
Yes.
horror aspect.
Yes, because you don't quite know what's round the corner on it.
Yeah.
And for a film that was made in 1976, back then, I mean, Gregory Peck, major actor. You know, we all know him from super movies like To Kill a Mockingbird.
Is he in other things?
Oh yeah, tons and tons of movies.
Because I'm more familiar with obviously
yeah.
David Warner and Patrick
Yeah,
Troughton.
but Gregory Peck, I think that was the thing, because he's
An omen.
it's an omen. The omen's fallen over. See, it's the force, that omnipotent force.
It's telling us to watch the sequel.
Yes. Anyway, so that was really weird. So yes, he was in it. He's a really big, huge, I would say huge scale Hollywood actor, and that suddenly you're presented with him being in a horror movie
Yeah.
in the 70s, and you kind of like, I think that was at the time, from my recollection, was quite the thing, because you wouldn't associate such a seasoned Hollywood actor to go
Yeah.
into what is being basically promoted as being a horror movie.
Exactly. Because he is the main character of the film, because he's like going through this big mystery of like, where does this kid actually come from?
Yeah.
Because after all these kind of like horrific things start happening, he kind of catches on, and he's the only one who really knows
Well, that's it.
what's going on,
Father Brennan.
other than Father Brennan.
Well, Father Brennan wouldn't have even be able to persuade him to talk to him if it wasn't for the fact that Gregory Peck's character knew that he, right at the beginning of the movie, has made the decision to adopt a child and lie to his wife that it is their child.
Yeah.
and because it suddenly somebody else knows that. How could that be?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why he starts to listen to Father Brennan.
And this is one of the reasons why we want to see kind of that backstory in the First Omen when we go to watch that.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really exciting to see how it all connects together.
Well, that's right. Well, as we said before, Father Brennan in The Omen says, "I was there. I saw it all," and I
know everything.
He's trying to absorb himself from all of
this wrongdoing. Yeah.
So this obviously must be the story we're going to see in the First Omen,
which is very, very exciting, because it's like The Omen is a sequel to something we haven't seen yet, and the First Omen is the prequel to the thing that leads into The Omen.
Yeah, I mean, so we get to see a lot of different characters, because of course the one thing that we're not going to get in the First Omen is the child.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's all, unless we actually get to the point where we can literally see the moment where the unnamed Damien is born.
Yeah.
Prior to him literally being handed over.
Yeah, is it going to be like Immaculate, where the person suddenly falls pregnant and is then...
Well, it's like Rosemary's Baby as well.
Again, yeah, another comparison.
Because you don't really see the baby till the last moment. It's kind of just like this flash.
And it's kind of like, is it or isn't it? Is she just like...
Yes.
Just imagining it type of effort.
So, yeah.
So maybe we should talk about the kills from The Omen.
Well,
they are the most memorable part of the movie.
I'm glad you brought that up, because again, for a movie that was made mid-70s, for me it still has one of my favourite kills in it.
Is that the one off the roof?
No, it's the one with the sheet of glass.
David Warner, yeah,
David
the
Warner.
Reporter.
I mean, we all love David Warner, bless him. And,
great actor.
And to see that truck come down and the sheet of glass come off, but it's the fact that it takes his head off and his head does this perfect slow motion.
It's like some kind of Final Destination, but it's like so malicious, because he's like such a good character, such a nice guy.
He's trying to help.
He's just trying to help out and discover this mystery.
Yeah, when you think about it, he doesn't really have anything bad for the devil to hold a grudge against him.
Exactly.
Because he's just a photographer, and although he's trying to help out Gregory Peck, it's not like Father Brennan, who is obviously, he has done bad, we assume.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's trying to absolve himself, and all the witches that are getting killed.
Yeah.
Things like that. So it's just like it's the wrong guy in the wrong place at the wrong time.
At the wrong time, as ordained. Thus,
but it's just that one kill. It's like burnt into my memory from the 70s.
And then I suppose the other kills you've got in it. You obviously got the nanny who hangs herself.
But yeah, again, that's an iconic one. You know.
Yeah, you've got obviously Patrick Troughton when he gets impaled. No.
We're all there going for that last couple of seconds where the lightning strikes and the lightning conductor falls off, and you go, step to the right, just step to the right.
It's so tiny, just move out of the way.
Just step to the right.
It's the fact that in actuality he was just standing in front of it.
Yeah.
Like they didn't put a prosthetic or anything. He's literally just standing in front of a pole stuck in the ground.
I know, but
pretending to be dead.
it's good though.
I love it. I wouldn't change it for the world.
I like what they did in the movie though, because they front page news. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They've got a picture of him skewered.
That's funny.
Which I don't even think back in the 70s you would have actually had that kind of picture put on. That's no different from having somebody who's hung themselves and putting that picture on the front. You just don't do it.
Honestly, it's these reporters. That was David Warner's fault, really.
Yeah, he shouldn't have done that.
But then you've obviously got the mum who kind of gets the worst end of it. She's always falling off things. She, falls off of the banisters.
Yeah.
And obviously loses the baby, and then she
gets out the window.
Then she gets pushed out the window by the replacement witch nanny.
The witch nanny
lady, and then lands in an ambulance. Whilst obviously Gregory Peck is in Italy trying to discover all these things.
To say, get to safety now.
Yeah. I suppose the only other kill in it is obviously, spoiler alert, Gregory Peck.
Gregory Peck. Well, what you can take from this, okay, is that everything is obviously preordained. They're not going to escape it.
Yeah. As they discover, it's this is essentially a a foretold prophecy.
Prophecy.
Like the stars and everything are
Yeah.
like foretelling this kind of prophecy coming to light, and they're kind of working out like the child will come
Yep.
from the world of politics.
Exactly.
And things.
And of course, saying politics, this is where we finish the actual movie.
Mm.
You know,
So
which is it's a brilliant finish. It's a brilliant finish.
because it's
so
it's
simple.
at a funeral of obviously the mum and the dad, but the kid is standing next to the president.
Yeah. It's kind of like putting his arm around him.
One assumes that that's where that goes in the sequel, is
Yeah.
that he's been adopted by the president. And then he just turns to the camera.
Yeah, this is the little actor, the little boy who's the
Yeah.
actor.
Yeah.
He just turns, looks over his shoulder to the camera, and gives the most creepiest break the fourth wall smile.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
it's
not-
just, I don't know how many times they asked him to do
I
that,
don't know how he manages it.
but he does it in such a perfectly creepy way.
Like, he knows what he's actually...
he knows.
He knows.
At this point, he's like, I know exactly what my
My calling is.
calling is. I know what's happening here.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to leave you,
Mhm.
the audience. I'm looking at you right now, and I'm going, yeah,
The Antichrist.
and that was it.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So, yeah, I'm really excited to see, obviously, the first Omen, but sequel-wise, there's actually quite a few sequels.
Okay.
You've got Damien the Omen 2,
Yep.
the Omen 3, The Final Conflict, which I believe stars Sam Neill, and he's like a...
Oh, really?
like- yeah.
Do you know, it's been young since I've seen them.
Well, exactly. And then I believe there's the Omen 4 Awakening,
Uh-huh.
and then there's the remake,
Yeah,
which I believe wasn't very critically well received because it was essentially like essentially a shot-for-shot
Right.
remake of.
Well, the thing
original.
is, I've probably seen, I dare say I have seen it, but you know what happens is the years roll by and you've seen your movie once and you just don't bother watching it again.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
we will probably revisit those at some
Exactly.
point. But
Exactly.
there we are. We're off to see the first Omen. But that was our review of The Omen.
If you enjoyed this review, please like and subscribe to this channel and comment below any suggestions of further reviews you'd like to see.
And we'll see you in the next one with a creepy smile.
Yes, you can snoop.
Oh, I'm